we had completed Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 2. Now, Chapter 2 was entirely on the symptoms of Kali Yuga and how Kali Yuga had ended. So, we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 3, and this is a new chapter called the Bhumi Gita. The Bhumi Gita is all about how the earth fared from the time of Krishna downwards right up to Kali Yuga. And what is going to happen, how things are going to change, what are the effective changes that have happened. So we are doing Bhumi Gita, Chapter 3, Canto 12 from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's called the Bhumi Gita. Sukadeva Goswami said, seeing the kings of this earth busy trying to conquer her, the earth herself laughed. She said, just see how these kings, who are actually playthings in the hands of death, are desiring to conquer me. Great rulers of men, even those who are learned, meet frustration and failure because of the material lust. Driven by lust, these kings place great hope and the faith in the dead lump of flesh called the body, even though the material frame is as fleeting as bubbles of foam on water. So this is the reaction of the earth. So Sukadeva Goswami is continuing with his narration to Parikshit, and he says, you see, the whole earth was seeing how one king is trying to conquer another. Now you may say there are no kings, there are very few kings, maybe one or two left in this world. So then who are trying to conquer? The leaders of countries, nations, they are trying to conquer another nation. Some by direct means and some by deceit. Now you will understand how each and every nation is lusty for another nation. Some nations are trying to break away from the clutches of a bigger tyrant and themselves becoming small kingdoms or small nations, but they themselves become bad very soon. The leaders who are trying to rule these kingdoms are terrible. So the earth says, just see how these kings who are actually playthings in the hands of death are desiring to conquer me. These kings, these leaders, these rulers of countries, they are petty, they are nothing. Today, if you look at the world, across the world, you will find that there are countries where people have taken over the entire land by different methodologies. Look at Philippines. A person who took over has killed so many people. He's become the leader of that country. There's another country called Malaysia. In Malaysia, the previous ruler had profited himself so much that billions of dollars had flown into his account. And when they went and so the election was won by somebody else, this is the older person, and when they went to see what this person had actually kept in his palace or apartments, and so many apartments he had, so many houses he had, and they were filled with all kinds of trinkets. The number of Birkin bags that the person had collected, his wife had collected. A Birkin bag is a very, very expensive bag. But well, she had collected so many of them. Shoes, you name it. So when a person has a lot of money, where does he go and put this money? Two places. One is called greed and one is lust. You know that. When greed strikes a person, they try to put the money aside, thinking that this money is going to save them in the future, whereas it doesn't happen like that. There isn't a single ruler in this world whom we can say has been saved by the money that he has. You can gather as much money as you want. You can keep it in whichever bank accounts you want. Whether it is Cayman Islands, whether it is the Central Asian nations or Central American nations, or you keep it in Switzerland, or whichever bank account you can keep, or whichever place you can store it inside underground also. This money is never going to come in handy to these people at all. it can buy a little time. It can buy a little time. You see, countries like Pakistan, you will find that the person who rules the country has already looted the country. Now, what does he do after that? He brings in, the new ruler comes in. And when the new person who comes in tries to jail the previous one, and these people try using the money that they have to get out of these things. Across the world, this is the same scenario. Look at countries like Venezuela. They have gone to ruins. People don't have food to eat. Countries in Africa. In the Middle East is completely destroyed. See, look at the countries over there. They had such beautiful structures out there and nothing is remaining. Iran, Iraq. So, you can see for yourself in today's day and age, everything is going to ruins. And these rulers and these people who are ruling these nations, countries, are in no position to save them. So great rulers of men, even those who are learned, meet frustration and failure because of material lust. The material lust is the main reason. I want this, I want that. It's a very sad case, it's a very, very sad state of affairs where a human being says that, no, I don't care for money. I am just interested in ruling this country properly and I just want everybody to profit. A person says like this. He may be sincere. So there are great rulers of men, not that they aren't. But the system has become completely spoilt. What is the system? The party which puts him into power. The people who put him into power, they say, you need to earn so much money for us. See, we have given you this position. And this is the reason why nations fail. Because the ruler himself becomes corrupt. The ruler may not have a single penny in his name, but he has salted away money for his own party or for the people that he is very much in favor of. Think about it. There are great companies which put up presidents and prime ministers. They fund their elections. And then these countries, wherever this kind of a thing happens, there is blatant corruption everywhere. Because whoever is investing in these great leaders, they have to take their investment back. And this is a part and parcel of our lives. It is the Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga makes everybody corrupt. Driven by lust, these kings place great hopes and faith in the dead lump of flesh called the body, even though the material frame is as fleeting as bubbles of foam on water. So these great people, the leaders of nations, countries, kingdoms, they may be kings, they may be prime ministers, ministers, presidents, whatever, you name it. Now these people, they believe in the body. They think that the bodies are capable of taking care. And they put their trust in their fellow people, whoever has, who is surrounding them. But history has taught us something. Julius Caesar himself was killed. In India also, the previous Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, ex-Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, she was killed in her own house, wherever she lived. Her son Rajiv Gandhi was also killed. And even in a country like India, which is supposed to be a democratic country, The same things are happening. Countries like France or various other places in Europe, the people, those who are getting elected, have certain ideologies which cannot be considered. Look at a place like Ireland. Ireland is a place where an Indian woman was not allowed to abort her child, and she died. Today, we have a person who is the head of Ireland who is Indian by origin. His name is Varadkar. Varadkar is a Marathi name, you should know this. He's from India. And the moment he came into power, this is a Christian nation. Now, in that Christian nation, 10-15 years ago, the number of people who were following religion was nearly in the 80s and 90s percentage. Today, with this person in power, there's only in 40s. Half of the people have dropped off from going to church at all. He has, in this particular country, he has allowed abortions, and he has also, with his parliament, of course, he alone cannot do anything. He has got an entire parliament, people's backing, and LGBT marriages are allowed in that country. The name of God has been getting wiped out from that country. Look at India. India also has become something like that. Middle East, you name whatever nations that you want. People think that their bodies are going to take care of them. But it doesn't work like that. The bodies are frail, they are going to die, and they're going to go away. Kings and politicians imagine, first I will conquer my sense and mind, then I will subdue my chief minister and rid myself of the thorn pricks of my advisors, citizens, friends, and relatives, as well as keepers of my elephant. In this way, I will gradually conquer the entire earth. Because the heart of these leaders are bound by great expectations, they fail to see death waiting nearby. One of the greatest examples of this is Hitler, General Franco. So many people are there, isn't it? What did they do? First, they tried to become dictators. And they became dictators in their country. And then they said, we will take over other countries as well. And they marched into other countries. But finally, in the end, whatever they may do, see, there are certain kings who have taken over a kingdom, an entire kingdom, and they have put some other people in jail. The people who were ruling previously are now in jail. The money has been taken. Everything is taken over. It's said over here, I will subdue my chief ministers. The ministers who are there, this person says, I will overcome them and rid myself of these thorns. I will put them in jail. Take the case of Jahangir also. His father had built that beautiful Taj Mahal. Now, Taj Mahal is a very beautiful monument. And what did his son do? He put him in jail. And he kept a window so that he could see the Taj Mahal every day. What is the use? Jahangir himself. See, after Jahangir came a lot of other kings and Aurangzeb also. Aurangzeb was supposed to be a pious person. Supposed to be. He never touched the money. But he had lust for kingdoms. So he tried to conquer even the central India, South India, wherever he could send his armies. And it went on for quite some time. He used to write the Quran and then sell it. That money he would use for himself. Now, I want you to think, if the Prime Minister, President, or the person who has written it is a king of that country, how much money would you pay for a book like Quran to be bought from that person? How much money will you pay? Just imagine tomorrow if Donald Trump tries to write the Bible himself, writing it with his own hands in calligraphy. Well, there will be a lot of people who will want to pay billions of dollars to buy that, isn't it? That's exactly how it works. So even if you write whatever book, finally the end is always going to be the same. So they tried to take over. Even their friends, the citizens, they try to cheat. These kind of people, they cheat everybody. And they think that I will conquer the entire earth. Now, there are people who think that they can conquer not earth, but they can conquer the moon, and they can conquer Mars, and they can conquer whatever they want to. Some people are interested in getting the gold and precious metal, maybe nickel, cadmium. I don't know what all the metals that are there. They are found in some of these asteroids. So they want to make asteroids as their colony and base and mine over there. But how many years can this man live? How many years do you think these companies will last? See, when I was talking about rulers, there are rulers of companies also. You look at a company which was nowhere in the picture way back in 2005. And today this company's owner is a multi-billionaire, hundreds of billions. There's another company. We use the products called Apple phones, It's a $1 trillion company. I'm sure, if I ask all of y'all, how many zeros are there in a trillion? I don't think any of us know how many zeros are there. It's a $1 trillion company, but the same person who started this company finally died of cancer. He couldn't save himself. You can try whatever you want to. The universe doesn't listen to you. Mother Earth, nature, doesn't listen to you at all. You can build huge mansions. One stroke from Mother Earth, everything gets finished. A place like Kerala, one of the richest states in India. Everybody, I think every household must be having somebody in the Gulf, Middle East countries. A lot of money flows from there. You see the number of gold showrooms that are there in Kerala. If you go to the state of Kerala, you will find that like in Goa, you find that every second shop is a liquor shop. It's terrible. In Kerala, it is gold shop. Everybody wants to buy gold. Even the number of kilos of gold also cannot save you if the Mother Nature strikes, isn't it? So we need to be good. It is not about gathering money. It is not about gathering. You have to be kind, compassionate. That is exactly what we are trying to learn over here. Nobody cares a damn. The kind of blatant corruption that is there everywhere. So this is what we are trying to say over here. After conquering all the lands on my surface, the earth is saying like this. These proud kings forcibly enter the ocean to conquer the sea itself. Look at China taking over an entire island. Actually, there was no island. First, they went and filled it up. After filling up that island, then now they have built buildings over there, silos, buildings, runways. Now there are aircraft which are going to land over there. There are islands, and the sea is also getting conquered. One of the very important things that have been conquered is called the sea. Do you know we have cables under the water which are connecting nations? And those who control these cables can become very, very strong. There is a company called Jio in India. This company, you put three major companies in the world, AT&T, Sprint, and one more. I don't know the name. You put all these three companies together, and the amount of data that these three companies have put together, they have not been able to match Jio in the data transfers that have happened. 67,000, is it TB or petabytes? I don't know how many bytes that are there. I remember the figure because they have exceeded even these three companies put together, the top three. What exactly is happening? They have taken over the oceans, laying underground cables, undersea cables. So whether you call it Mr. Ambani a ruler or not, but it is, you can see that somebody who takes over an entire system. Today, small shops are not performing in India or across the world. They're closing down. Why are they closing down? Because big organizations like Amazon, I should not only say Amazon, there are other companies as well who have taken over the business. And they have become very strong, rich, and powerful. Then what happens? By the way, there used to be a program, something called Rich and Famous. I don't remember the name. That person who was showing these houses and cars and properties of all the rich and the famous people, he died just 2-3 days ago. Now I don't know who is going to show us the properties now from inside. But anyway, if you look at these people, these rich people, they have made such a huge, investments. What is the use of their self-control, which is aimed at political exploitation? The actual goal of self-control is spiritual liberation. Many leaders of this world, many leaders of this world have joined some kind of a spiritual movement. Do you know that? Many spiritual leaders, many people, many of these leaders like prime ministers, presidents, head of the countries, you name it, Politburo, whatever, they all join some organization. And they say that this is a spiritual organization and we are going to join them. And they think, that they are going to have self-control. How is this self-control? By yoga, breathing exercises, this, that, following a group. Do you really think by doing some kind of a yogic exercise, something is going to happen? You know what kind of yoga I'm talking about, no? They think that they are going to have self-control. First is control the mind, control the senses through these yogic opportunities that are there around. What is the use of their self-control? Which is aimed at political exploitation. All these people are trying to use yoga and all these kind of nonsensical stuff for political exploitation. Can you see Sukadeva Goswami had written about this, or said to Parikshit thousands of years ago. There are prime ministers and ministers and king, so many people, they are joining these yoga classes. You know that? Let us take a deep breath. And they will do it in front of all the cameras. So when they do it in front of the cameras, what exactly happens? The whole world thinks, oh my God, these people have become very spiritual in nature. And they know what is self-control. They know how to control the mind. But it is for political gains. That is what is mentioned over here. It is aimed at political exploitation. Whereas the yoga, pranayama and all these things that you do, all the yogic exercises are supposed to bring in spiritual liberation. In spiritual liberation means, first and foremost, you need to have dispassion, detachment, discrimination. The 3 Ds are extremely important. Or do you think they are dispassionate? After they finish their classes, chalo, let us go and eat something nice. Oh, I have an appointment with the Prime Minister of X country or the President of that country. And there, okay, let us cheers to it. What cheers to it? Yesterday I posted one article which says, even if you take 1 glass of wine or 1 glass and think that it is supposed to be very, very healthy, it is very dangerous. A professor from Harvard has said so. I mean, why do you need professors from Harvard? Drinking itself is going to cause you ruin. You know that very well. Even if you take 1. You see, today people will say, I smoke only 1 cigarette a day. It's not going to ruin my health, Yes, 1 cigarette a day. It is not going to ruin my health. There are European countries, okay, and they have legalized prostitution. And there are lanes, there are streets over there. You can go and park your car over there and you can pay by cards. I mean, imagine in India you go, I want to pay by Paytm, or one of those. Can you imagine that happening? Okay, Amazon Pay. Can I use Amazon Pay for paying a prostitute? What are you talking about? This is exactly how things are happening. The nations have become, they are legalizing it. Drugs are being legalized left, right and center. You know where it is heading, isn't it? 1 drink a day, it's okay. What do you mean by it's okay? Please just wait and see what happens. Oh, best of the Kurus, the earth continues as follows. Now the earth is continuing. You see, earth is talking. Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit this. Okay. Although in the past great men and their descendants have left me, departing from this world in the same helpless way, they came into it. Even today, foolish men are trying to conquer me. So there is a historical data available to everyone. Not only the kings and the queens and all those people, but including you and me. We know how things are going to fare, isn't it? You know that. I was talking about drinking. 20% of the drinkers have died in the last 10 years because of drinking. Even if you take 1 glass a day, or what you call that one? I don't know what you call it. But if that is how the case is going to be, you know history, isn't it? History is there. Data is available. Why is it that you cannot understand that? I'm just talking about drinking. You should see the number of sex dolls that are being made in Japan or in China for satisfying the lust of human beings. Today in the morning, I just opened my Facebook and there is a man sitting in Iowa He looks like a young man. He must be around 35, 40. I don't know what age is. And there is a woman who is crying away, and she has put the camera, her phone camera on him and saying, just wait till the police come. This man had gone to a mall and he was trying to photograph, put his phone under the garment of a 12-year-old girl. What kind of perversion is that? So he was made to sit over there till the police came and arrested him. What would you like to do to such a person? If it was your daughter, what will you do? Forget daughter. Now even the son. You may have a 10-year, 12-year-old son who is getting sexually abused. What will you do? This is a kind of perversion that is there in this world. And this is what he says. Actually, the goal of spirituality is to take you out. The spirituality means, what I mean is the current level of spirituality that we call it as yoga. Yoga should lead you out and take you towards spiritualism, isn't it? Spiritual liberation. Whereas it is taking you towards materialism. You open Instagram, you open Facebook, and you see those who are performing or doing yoga. First you look at their clothes, you look at their body, and then you look at what they are doing, legs up in the air and this and that and the kind of things that they are doing. What exactly are they doing? Is that how the rishis and everybody did? You think all the rishis and their wives were wearing yoga pants? Think about it. People go for walks, walks. And they want to wear garments which are going right inside their body. What are you trying to do? So that people behind are able to see, oh, nice. Oh, I can walk briskly with this person. And the person ahead knows this very well. Yesterday I was seeing an interview where the woman says very clearly, she says, why do you think I wear such kind of clothes? I wear this kind of clingy clothes so that people can look at me. They can look at you. Yeah, I'm a sexy person, you see. When I go to the beach, they should look at me. See, you need to understand one thing. A human anatomy has been an object of admiration since time immemorial. Of course. You go to any of the temples in India, any of the old monuments in India, and you can see the walls of those temples are filled with busty women and people, all kinds of nonsense is there. Lust is a part of that game. But why in the temples? Oh, those are dancing girls. Those are, from heaven, those paris have come down, Oh, wow. But what we need to understand is, okay, you have come to meet God inside a temple. Why do you need to look at these things? Now, first, let me do all the sin possible. Look at all these nice sculptures, like the Khajuraho type of ones. And then go inside the temple and say, God, I'm very sorry. But you see, your walls are filled with all this nonsense. Spirituality is not that. Spirituality is the union with the spirit. You are the spirit. Just remember this. So it should lead you towards this goal called self-realization or spiritual liberation. Whereas actually what is happening? It is taking you towards the body. O best of Kuru, the earth continued, although in the past great men and the descendants have left me, departing from this world in the same helpless way they came into it. Even today, foolish men are trying to conquer me. The earth is saying the same thing is happening to men today. For the sake of conquering me, materialistic person fight one another. Fathers oppose their sons, brothers fight one another because their hearts are bound to possessing political power. Very much valid. Very much valid. You can see all the countries around us, whether it is Bangladesh, whether it is Pakistan, whether it is India, Nepal, you name it, all the countries. Dynastic rule is what people are looking at. And sometimes the sons take over. During the time of Buddha also, don't you remember the king taking over? Ajat Shatru, Bimbisara story is so very famous. I don't think I need to tell you that. Ajat Shatru, Bimbisara, the king was there and the son took over the kingdom by killing his own father. If that is a condition, in a Middle Eastern country, one brother killed another brother so that he can become the ruler of that country. That is what is happening, is what is written over here. Political leaders challenge one another. All this land is mine. It's not yours, you fool. Thus they attack one another and die. Isn't it such a common thing? Now we are going to name a lot of kings. Such kings as Prithu, Pururava, Gadi, Nahusa, Bharata, Kartavirya Arjuna, Mandata, Sagara, Rama, Khatwanga, Dunduha, Raghu, Trinabindu, Yayati, Saryati, Shantanu, Gaya, Bhagiratha, Kovalya, wow, this is a very tongue twisting name, no? Kovalya Yasa, Kakutsha, Naishida, Nriga, Hiranyakashyap, Vrita, Ravana, who made the whole world lament. Namuchi, Sambara, Bhauma, Hiranyaksha and Taraka, as well as many other demons and kings who possessed great power over the control over others, were all full of knowledge, heroic, all-conquering and unconquerable. Nevertheless, O Almighty Lord, although they lived their lives intensely trying to possess me, these kings were subject to the passage of time, which reduced them all to mere historical accounts. None of them could permanently establish their rule. So there isn't a single ruler who can say that I can rule for thousands of years. Nobody can live that much. See, today we can live hardly 50, 60, 70, 80 years, or maybe some places 100 years, but nobody can rule. Yeah, there are rulers who are 80, 90 years old. Look at the Queen of England. She's an old woman, but she's still ruling the country, isn't it? And there are various other countries in the world. Their presidents and prime ministers are in 70s and 80s and 90s and they are still ruling. They think that their rule is going to last forever and ever and ever. In Spain, General Franco, I took his name earlier, they had his statue put up. Okay? And the statue could not be removed from that library, from that particular place. 10 years ago, some political leaders came into the picture and they had to pass a law in the parliament, and this particular statue is now going to be removed from there. So think about General Franco at that point in time. He must be thinking, if I put up my statue or if somebody puts up my statue, it's going to last there forever and ever. It doesn't stay. Nothing lasts forever. Nobody will be remembered. Ashoka. Ashoka was the king of India, one of the. And his kingdom, he had that war of Kalinga, which is so very famous. Thousands and millions of people got killed, you know that. Then he became a pious person. He sent his daughter and his son to different countries to spread Buddhism. And then, to establish his rule, he put up stamba, a iron pillar, a metallic pillar. And those who have gone to these places, like Kapilavastu, or in India, there are so many pillars. You have seen, if those who have gone to even Qutub Minar have seen that pillar, one pillar over there which is made of metal. Amitabh Bachchan tries to put his hand in one of the movies like this, I'm sure you remember. So these pillars are there, thinking that these pillars will last. Do you really think so? Tomorrow the temperatures on earth may reach such a point that the pillar or anything that you have made on this planet earth is going to get destroyed. It's not going to last. Nothing is going to last. And this is exactly what he's talking about. So many kings came and went away. Prithu, Pururava, Gadhi, so many names we took, Hiranyakashyap, Hiranyaksha, so many came and went away. Nothing lasts. They try to possess me, the earth says, they try to possess me, but they are not able to. Sukdev Goswami said, O mighty Parikshit, I have related to you the narrations of these great kings who spread their fame throughout the world and then departed. My real purpose was to teach transcendental knowledge and renunciation. Stories of kings lend power and opulence to the narration, but do not in themselves constitute the ultimate aspect of knowledge. What is the main reason for doing all these spiritual texts with you? It is not so that you get corrupted, it is because that you can become spiritually perfect. So you can get spiritual liberation. Spiritual liberation is what we are actually looking for. We are not here so that using this kind of scriptures so that we can further our careers or lives. It's not meant for that. You see, people use the Bhagavad Gita as a tool for management. Yeah, fighting wars. Yes. That book is meant for spiritual liberation. You have to be liberated. Okay, emancipation. You are supposed to get out of these life and death cycles, but they are using it for winning wars. There's a book which is called The Art of War. I don't know how many of you have read it. It's a little bit tough to understand, but it is there. A Chinese author had written it 2,000, 3,000 years ago, I think. Great book. How to win wars. Then Chanakya. We spoke of Chanakya in the last chapter, isn't it? Chanakya Niti, very famous. So here he's talking about the ultimate reasoning is to gain knowledge so that liberation happens. The real purpose is not understood by people. The person who desires pure devotional service to Lord Krishna should hear the narration of Lord Uttam Shlokas, glorious qualities. The constant chanting of which destroys everything inauspicious. The devotee should engage in such listening to the regular assemblies and should also continue his hearing throughout the day. Just before we started this, I was asking Chitty, what is this Kiki challenge? Well, it seems that you get out of the car or the bike or something like that and dance somewhere and somebody is shooting you. The Kiki challenge has become like a mad thing. And then there is some singing app. People want to become famous in that. And then there are dancing things. I don't know whether you call it dance or acrobatics. You look at the dances today, they are more acrobatics. They are like monkeys, spreading their legs and doing this and doing that. A person who is able to make his leg, at 180 degrees angle is supposed to be very good. Can you use your mind at 180 degrees and understand on one side is materialism and on the other side is spirituality? Can you reach the other end? Can you stretch your body in such a way that finally intelligence understands that it is not getting some challenge and some trophy and all that kind of thing in this world, but to get spiritual liberation? But this is what is not understood. So here he says, a person who desires pure devotional service to Lord Krishna should hear the narration of Lord Uttam Shlokas, glorious qualities. the constant chanting. One is chanting the name of the Lord. Not saying, as a like Jesus. No, not like that. Krishna. Oh, no, not like that, That means OMG. Oh my God, like that. When something wrong happens, you say, oh Jesus, oh Krishna. Not like that. Say it with devotion. Say it with love and devotion. The way Mirabai might have said, something like that. So I hope you understand what I'm talking. The devotee should engage in listening to the regular daily assemblies. Oh, we should listen to all the beautiful songs, the bhajans, the kirtans, the spiritual subjects that are there. Over here, another word of caution. Not those evangelists on TV, okay? Please don't. Not like that. They are there out to make money. Or somebody who wants to sell his, singing for making thousands and millions or whatever. Not that kind of a person. Then it is better to listen to all those Madonnas, Rihannas, all this. It is better to listen to them rather than this, no? Why you want to listen to somebody who is faking it? Why not become bad itself? I'm bad, like Michael Jackson says. Huh? I have become bad. Who says it? So, any which way, a devotee should engage in listening to regular daily assemblies and should also continue his hearing throughout the day. Right? I have been trying to download songs, for last, I think, how many years, I don't know. Till today, I don't know how to download songs in my phone. Some people will try to put it, and I don't know how to play it also. So, here I learned something about a new app called Spotify. Okay, I didn't know about that there is an app called Spotify. I thought I heard about it. But of course, now I can listen to music on Spotify. But are they going to play, Bhimsen Joshi and all those people? I don't know. Right? King Parikshit said, my lord, how can person living in the age of Kali rid himself of the cumulative contamination of this age? O great sage, please explain this to me. So Parikshit is still alive. Please, he is not yet dead. So Parikshit is looking at Sukdev Goswami and says, please, can you tell me how this Uttam Shloka, you see the previous verse said, King Uttam Shloka, he was a great devotee. How did he achieve? So can you please explain to me in this yuga, in Kali Yuga, how are we going to achieve this kind of an objective called devotion to the Lord? Please explain the different ages of universal history, the special qualities of each age, the duration of cosmic maintenance, and the destruction and the movement of time, which is a direct representation of the Supreme Soul, the personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. So he says, can you please explain to me the different ages of universal history? So once again, we are going to do the 4 yugas. That is Krita, that is Satyuga, then it is Treta, then it is Dwapara, then it is Kali Yuga, and the whole thing comes to an end, and then we start all over again. We start again from the Krita, that is the first Yuga, Satyuga. Then, so this cycle continues. So he wants to know about this cycle. Second, the qualities of each age. We have already discussed the qualities, but you have to understand them once again. So it will be just touched upon. It's not going to be talked to you in detail, because we have literally come to the end of this canto itself. Very few chapters are left. The movement of time. How does the time take over? Which is a direct representation of the Supreme Soul. How the Supreme Soul, which is the time orientation, how does it work? You are just not telling me about the kings and the rulers of countries and the kingdoms, how they have not been able to establish themselves over a period of time. Because time is a great destroyer. Have you ever thought of why Kal, the name Kal, Kali and Kal, This is called the Kali Yuga or Kal Yuga. It's time bound. And Kal means time. I hope you understand that. So the word itself will tell you a lot of things. Correct? How does this work? Now I am going to stop over here, but I'll give you one small understanding of how the names come about. So Kal and Kali, these names you know. You know Yamdev is there? Yamdev. You heard of Yamdev, the god of death. Do you know he has a sister? What's her name? Yamuna. The Yamuna river is his sister, by the way. See, all these things, they have names and there are hidden things inside that. So if you actually look at each and every individual name, you will understand. Yamuna is one of the wife of Krishna. She goes by the name Kalindi. It's a great thing, isn't it? If you look at everything around you, there is an indication. So time is a factor which is controlled by Krishna himself in the form of Kal. And his avatar during this age is called Kali. And the one who overcomes this yuga, destroys it, is named Kalki. Can you see the names, how they change? So Krishna, Krishna Kali, Kali, Kalki, destruction. So we have come to the point today. This age is about Krishna Kali. Kali is actually there. And slowly the whole world is turning towards that. All right. So I will stop over here. We have done chapter 3 up to verse 17, 1-7. Next time we will open at verse 18 onwards from the Bhumi Gita chapter 3. Okay. I'll see you all next time. You have a very good day or a good evening. Take care.